So Cricut Design Space has pushed out some new updates within the last year, which makes some of the previous videos that I have a little outdated. So we're briefly going to touch on the functions that already existed inside of Cricut Design Space, like flatten, attach, weld, and slice. But I'm also going to show you guys the newer functions. So I'm inside of Cricut Design Space. I went ahead and created some basic shapes so that I can show you guys exactly what this looks like. These top 4 functions up here are what was in Cricut Design Space before, but just to recap, if you weld everything here together, it's actually going to create one solid shape. It is going to cut along this outside piece, and it's going to go around and cut each of these letters out, but you've essentially super glued all of this stuff together. If we were to attach this entire group here, it's going to treat each of these as its own separate thing. We've put it into a group. If you look over in the layers panel, you can see that everything is still there. It's all its individual shape. But once you go to cut it, Cricut is going to cut along this square. It's going to give you this Pac-Man kind of style circle, and then it's also going to cut out each of these letters, but you can move it around like you've put it in a Ziploc bag. If we go to flatten this item, this is going to change it from a cut to a print and cut. Your Cricut machine is going to print this particular item out, and then it is going to cut along this entire thing. This is almost like welding the item because now everything is one solid item. If you look over at the layers panel, you see here, it's just one print and cut. But your Cricut machine is still going to cut along this, and then it is going to cut out each individual letter. If you're wanting to do more of a sticker kind of thing, where it kind of cuts along one gigantic shape, you're going to want to use that contour feature, but I'll show you how to do that in another video. I'll actually link that up here somewhere. And I'll show you guys how to use contour inside of Cricut. And then for slice, what this is going to do is it is going to cut this circle and that square, and it's going to give you all of the layers in between. So right clicking, slicing it out, you have your circle, you have part of your square, and then where these two items overlapped, you still have their separate shapes. So the thing with those top 4 functions is once you did those functions, unless you went through and went back through like Control Z, undo, edit, undo kind of situation, there was no real way to, once you've completed your project, to kind of undo anything. The bottom 4 functions that they added into Cricut Design Space, no matter what you do, you can still undo any changes that you make. So Unite, you're going to be able to take all of these things and do the exact same thing that Weld did. As you can see, we have the one solid shape at top and then the text itself. But the difference between these two, I can't right click this and undo it. I can go through, right click this and undo that thing. So I still have my square and I still have my circle. And that will work no matter what changes I make if I use that Unite feature. Now, for these other ones, subtract, intersect, and exclude. This is the more robust version of slice. So for subtract, what subtract is going to do is it's going to take anything that is on top and cut that out of that bottom shape. So if you have a circle here, you stack a square, you stack a star, you stack a triangle, whatever you've got going on up here, whatever isn't covered up is going to be left. So really quick, as an example, if I create another square and I kind of line it up like we have a little dog nose kind of thing, these 2 yellow squares, once I hit subtract, we're only going to be left with that pink. So selecting all 3 items, right clicking, subtract, we're left with just the pink circle, or what's left of the pink circle. So now with intersect, wherever your shapes are overlapping, that's what you're going to be left with. So where slice kind of gave you multiple versions of that overlapping piece, like up here we have the 2 pizza slices, wherever you would end up with multiple shapes and colors in slice, you're only going to be left with one. You're just going to have wherever your shapes are overlapping left. So if we were to select the circle and the square, where the circle and that square overlap, that is all that's going to be left in this group. So right click, combine, we go to intersect. As you can see, we're just left with that kind of pizza slice. For exclude, it is going to be the exact opposite. Whatever items are overlapping, it's going to eliminate it. So like with slice, where it gave you multiple pieces of that pie because the circle and the square both got cut out, what this is going to do is it's going to take all of those pieces out. You're only going to be left with this and this. Cricut Design Space is automatically going to delete these 2 pieces here. So selecting that circle and the square, right click, combine, and exclude. As you can see, you're only left with the circle and that bottom, the rest of the square shape. If I wanted to take this piece of the circle and this piece of that square and move them around, I can't make those changes inside of Cricut Design Space. There is no way to ungroup them. Yes, you can undo these things. Cricut Design Space is still recognizing in the layers panel that these were different shapes, so you can still go through and make adjustments. However, you can't ungroup these items. I hope this video helped you understand some of the new functions that Cricut Design Space has pushed out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you're interested in some other examples on when you would want to use some of these things, let me know and I will work on getting some videos together. If you want to see the original video that inspired this update, be sure to check out this video here.